Exposed. The incredible truth of a single mother delivery girl who captivated a millionaire CEO. On a chilly autumn day in Chicago, the air crackles with an electric buzz. Families gather for the annual neighborhood festival, laughter spilling into the streets like confetti, but for Maria, it feels like a distant dream. She weaves through the vibrant throng, her heart heavy with the weight of bills and responsibilities. Just outside a busy cafe, she loads her delivery bag, trying hard to focus on the next food order rather than the mounting worries of rent and her kids' futures. Maria, a determined single mother in her late 20s, lives for her children. Every day pushes her through challenges that could knock anyone down. She's juggling her two young kids and hustling as a delivery girl, rushing between orders, navigating back alleys, and contending with the city's ever-changing landscape. Each delivery is a step towards a brighter future, a testament to her unwavering commitment to the American dream. Meanwhile, in a sleek high-rise just a few blocks away, Nathan sits alone, surrounded by the silver spoons of his world. The millionaire CEO of a booming tech startup, he's at the top of his game, but it's a lonely height. Every lavish dinner feels hollow. Kind gestures from employees turn into awkward silences. The clash of clinking glasses echoes loneliness louder than the city's chaos below. Wealth feels more like a gilded cage than a trophy. He yearns for connection, for something real amidst his life of luxury. Fate intervenes when Maria mistakenly delivers a steaming plate of gourmet food to Nathan's doorstep. Their gazes meet, hers cautious, his indifferent. Maria sizes him up, a flash of skepticism dancing in her eyes. Just another rich guy, she thinks. And Nathan, surveying her worn jacket, sees nothing more than another delivery girl. But as they exchange words, something clicks. In this brief encounter, they discover a shared struggle. Maria's fierce spirit commands Nathan's attention. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet their connection grows fraught with tension. Maria's pride doesn't easily allow her to accept Nathan's offers of help. Every time she brushes his kindness aside, it stings both of them. He's trying to break the walls around him, but she's petrified of exposing her dreams to someone like him. Meanwhile, Nathan's circles circle him like vultures, gossip growing thicker than the fog rolling off Lake Michigan as he spends time with someone deemed beneath his station. In a moment of clarity, Maria steps forward, showing Nathan the real power of her dreams, the entrepreneurial spirit buried beneath the daily grind. Together, they begin to see how they can change each other's lives. Yet the road ahead is fraught with societal judgment at every turn, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As they stand on the brink of what could change everything, a shattering reality looms. Will Maria let go of her fears to embrace her true potential, risking the security she has fought so hard to build? Can Nathan shatter the expectations of his privileged existence to pursue something deep and meaningful? With the weight of expectation heavy in the air, everything hangs in the balance. Will this be the beginning of an extraordinary journey, or will they both retreat back into the shadows of their lives? The first rays of dawn spilled into the city, transforming the shadowy outline of Chicago's skyline into a glistening mosaic of light. Maria stood before her cluttered kitchen table, a jumble of bills organized in haphazard stacks. The same old worry gnawed at her as she hunched over her laptop, her fingers trembling slightly above the keyboard. She had spent the night rewriting her business plan, lights slanting through her window as the sun climbed higher, illuminating her determined features. Her kids were still asleep in their rooms, their peaceful faces a stark contrast to the storm brewing in her mind. Each document she viewed, each number crunched, pushed her toward a pivotal decision. Could she really take the leap and put her ideas to the test? Her dreams of starting a meal kit service lingered tantalizingly close, yet the fear of failure wrapped around her like a vice. Suddenly, the soft sounds of her children stirring cut through her thoughts. "Mama!" Her daughter's voice, sweet yet demanding, jolted her back to reality. Maria closed her laptop with a sigh, the momentary spark of ambition fizzling in the face of motherhood. She padded down the hallway, thoughts heavy but resolute. There would be time later to figure it all out. Meanwhile, Nathan was in his glass-walled office, glued to his computer screen but lost in the chaos of his thoughts. The board meeting that loomed was practically an obligation rather than the exhilarating challenge he once craved. He wanted to discuss innovation and advancements, but felt distracted, even stifled by the expectations that burdened him. Just yesterday, he had received another call about the rumored relationship with Maria. The whispers stung, igniting a fire within him. Why did he feel so alive when he thought of her? It was ridiculous, yet exhilarating. When he finally stood up from his desk, the weight of his decision hung over him like storm clouds. He grabbed his coat, heading to the elevator with a single destination in mind: Maria. The thought of not seeing her again was more burdensome than he anticipated. Later that morning, as Maria served pancakes and juice to the kids, her doorbell rang, cutting through the morning calm. The kids squealed in excitement, and Maria wiped her hands on her apron, hoping it wasn't another bill collector. When she opened the door, her heart skipped. Nathan stood there, an endearing smile playing on his lips. He looked more casual and more approachable than she'd first seen him, a world away from the CEO facade. "Hey," he said softly, a hint of nervousness in his voice. "I was hoping to talk to you about that idea you shared." Her heart raced at the invitation. "What about it?" she asked, feigning nonchalance. Nathan leaned in, an earnest glint in his eyes. "I believe in it. I can help you. Let us get you off the ground." Maria's stomach twisted with equal parts excitement and fear. "Help? Like financially?" He nodded, the warmth in his gaze touching her defenses. "I wouldn't treat it like charity. This is about potential yours." She hesitated, every bone in her body screaming to trust him, yet doubt loomed. Did she want his hand out? Or a partnership? Was she ready to expose her dreams to someone like him? A small voice in her mind urged her forward, reminding her of all the challenges she faced alone. Maybe this was what it truly meant to embrace possibility. She could feel the lure of change whispering to her, but it was dangerous territory. "Okay," she finally said, the word draping heavy in the air. "Let us talk." But as she opened the door wider, she had no idea of the storm that would follow. Would they both be ready to open their hearts to more than just business? Would the world allow them to explore what they could become together? With uncertainty hanging palpably in the air, today could mark the beginning of everything, or the end of all they knew. As Maria stepped aside, Nathan entered her light-filled kitchen, the smell of pancakes filling the air. The children laughed at the table, oblivious to the current tension. Maria felt a surge of warmth and vulnerability, acutely aware of how different their worlds were. Yet, here he was, ready to dive into hers. "Can we talk somewhere private?" he asked, glancing at the kids. Maria nodded, battle-ready but suddenly self-conscious. She gestured towards the small living room where stacks of toys fought for space with worn-out furniture. It wasn't much, but it was home. Once settled into the slightly worn but cozy couch, Nathan's expression softened as he observed her surroundings. "This place has character," he said, a hint of an awkward smile breaking the tension. "It's chaotic, like my life," Maria replied with a nervous laugh. It felt odd, sharing a space with someone who lived in a different stratosphere. Nathan leaned forward, intensity flickering in his eyes. "Let us get straight to it. You have a great idea. I see potential. All it needs is the right push. But what do you really want, Nathan?" Maria gestured around. "Is this just about helping? Or is it your way of getting something you want in return?" His expression turned serious. "Maria, this isn't about me. I care about this project, but I also care about you. I know things are complicated, but you inspire me." Her breath hitched. What kind of world were they stepping into? She had her responsibilities, her children, her dreams neatly stacked in fragile order. Could she really trust him? "Tell me how you envision supporting me," she said, voice steady but heart racing. "I can devise a proper business plan. Help with funding," Nathan replied, his eyes blazing with sincerity. "But I want us to do this together. You retain control. This should be yours. I want to see what you can achieve." Maria felt the stirrings of hope crisscrossing with doubt. This was a potential lifeline, but it came tangled with the unknown. Still, a wave of exhilaration began to wash over her. She cared too deeply about her vision to let it slip away. But what if it doesn't work? She whispered, the fears spilling through her resolve. What if I'm not good enough? Nathan took a breath, leaning closer. You are good enough. You have the passion, the talent. I can help you polish your vision, but you have to believe in yourself first. An uncomfortable silence filled the space between them as her thoughts raced. Did she have what it would take? Could she let him into her world, without losing control? Just then, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen as her son knocked over his juice cup. Maria jumped up, racing back to the chaos, but Nathan's voice stopped her. Maria? Turning back, she locked eyes with him. What if by trusting you, I lose sight of what I really want? What if I lose myself? Or you could find the real you, he said softly. You could chase something extraordinary. Isn't that worth the risk? His words hung heavy in the air, igniting a flicker of courage within her. Yet, doubt and trepidation intertwined in her heart like ivy on an old trellis. Could she step into a new life, intertwining their two paths? As Maria returned to the kitchen, her heart raced with conflicting emotions. She faced not just spills and messes, but a massive shift that could redefine everything. And as the children laughed and played, the stakes of her decision loomed larger than ever. Could she open herself to growth, let her dreams unfurl? Or would she retreat into the comfort of the familiar, afraid of what lay beyond? Whatever she chose, everything could change in a heartbeat. But what would happen when the world found out about their relationship, the new chapter that could rewrite both their lives? Maria hurried back into the kitchen, her heart pounding from the weight of Nathan's words. The vibrant chaos of the room welcomed her with open arms, but the bittersweet tension lingered in her mind. She was surrounded by laughter, sticky hands, and the delightful smell of pancakes, yet her thoughts roamed into an uncertain future. Mom, look what I made. Her daughter, Sophia, proudly held up a pancake shaped like a dinosaur, the syrupy mess spilling over her tiny fingers. That's amazing, honey. Maria smiled, her heart swelling at the sight. It was these moments that anchored her, that filled her with purpose. But at the same time, a longing for more pulled at her toward the ambition she had buried deep within. Can I have the biggest piece? Sophia asked, her innocent eyes sparkling. Of course. Maria cut a generous slice and handed it to her, watching the joy bloom on her daughter's face. But even as she smiled, the flicker of doubt ignited again. Could she dream bigger while still being the mother they needed? Need any help? Nathan's voice broke into her thoughts, drawing her attention. He was at the edge of the counter, rinsing out a mixing bowl, his movements surprisingly graceful in the domestic setting. No, I got it, Maria said quickly, trying to shake off her distraction. Yet, his willingness to assist stirred something encouraging within her, a spark of belief that maybe this partnership could work, that maybe he genuinely wanted to support her. Okay, Nathan replied, his demeanor still warm. But I'd love to hear more about your vision while we cook. The way he said we ignited a fresh wave of determination in her. Perhaps this was a chance not just for her dreams, but for something deeper, connecting them in a way that could withstand the scrutiny of the world. As they whipped up a new batch of pancakes together, the sweet aroma filled the space between them. With each flip, Maria felt a renewed energy, her earlier doubts simmering down to a cautious curiosity. Their eyes met briefly, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something bigger, a melding of two lives, two dreams. So, tell me more about the business, Nathan said, leaning against the counter, curious and engaged. Maria took a deep breath. It's about creating a community, a place where kids can learn through play, where parents can gather. It's about connection, more than just a business. She felt the passion surge again, as if releasing the words brought clarity. That's beautiful, Nathan replied, his gaze unwavering, making her feel seen in a way she hadn't expected. What is your biggest roadblock? Her thoughts splintered again, flooded with honesty. Money, time me. I guess part of me is terrified of failing. Nathan's expression shifted to one of understanding. You won't fail, Maria. You've got the vision. I'll help you find a way to get it started. The reality of his promise flooded her with a sense of urgency, the implications rolling over her like waves. Was she really willing to open herself up to all of this? Just then, a high-pitched shriek erupted from the living room. Mom, look what we found. Her son, Leo, burst into the kitchen, clutching what appeared to be a very large and very colorful toy that he had somehow unearthed in the sea of clutter. Kids and their endless treasures, Nathan chuckled, breaking the tension once more. But Maria's thoughts spiraled back to Nathan, his promise, their partnership, the way he seemed to step into her world. What did she really want? Was she ready to risk the fragile balance she had curated? As the pancakes sizzled and the children's laughter hung in the air, Maria felt the winds of change whispering at her back. The real work was about to begin, and with it, a very real choice. Would she dive into this adventure, knowing full well it could reshape their futures? Or would she play it safe, retreating once more into her comfortable chaos? In that moment, everything hung in the balance. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that the biggest challenge wasn't just about business. What would happen to their budding connection when the world found out about their unconventional partnership? The truth could change everything. Maria turned her attention to Leo, who was now spinning in circles with the toy. The colorful creature seemed to take on a life of its own in her son's imaginative grasp, and for a brief moment, the weight of her indecision faded. The sound of laughter was like a balm, but the nagging feeling of uncertainty remained. "Can we have a dinosaur rescue mission with pancakes?" Leo shouted, his eyes wide with excitement. "Absolutely." Maria laughed, rallying her energy to match his. It felt good to play along, to embrace the magic of childhood even as her mind waded through the adult complexities swirling around her. Sophia joined in, her syrupy dinosaur pancake now a proud centerpiece for their imaginative adventure. "And the dinosaurs can be heroes," she chimed in, beaming. Nathan watched them with a smile, leaning against the counter like a lifeline. Was he really willing to help? As she flipped another pancake, Maria felt a surge of gratitude. What if this was the support she'd been longing for, the nudge that could guide her out of her comfort zone? "Okay, gang. Dinosaurs need to be fed before they go on their adventure. Each pancake is a head start." She started to stack the pancakes high, making a colorful tower that would delight their imaginations and keep her hopes grounded. But as she cooked, the reality of her dreams lingered just beneath the surface, unrelenting and insistent. The idea of creating a space for children resonated deeply, but that space meant she would need to emerge from her bubble, from the safety of motherhood into the world of entrepreneurship, a world she had tucked away long ago. "Tell me, what's the first step?" Nathan asked, positioning himself so he could watch her every move, his presence a comforting anchor amidst the excitement. Taking a breath, she responded, "I suppose I need to start outlining a business plan, figuring out the budget." Finding a space, the words left her lips, but with them came a swell of anxiety. "And the very first thing you need is a name. You have to make it yours." His eyes lit up with a shared enthusiasm, and Maria felt a flicker of possibility. Naming it felt monumental. "Together Time," she suddenly blurted out, surprising even herself. "It captures everything I want it to be." "Together Time," he repeated slowly, letting the words sink in. "That is fantastic." He grinned at her, and for a heartbeat, it felt like they were sharing more than just the kitchen. It felt like they were weaving something special, an intricate thread that connected both of their hopes. But doubt prickled at the edges of her excitement. Would they really build this together? Would the townsfolk accept their partnership? Would they thrive? Or was this just a whimsical spark in her day? As the last pancake slid onto the plate, an uneasy calm settled over her. She had set a course, but the destination felt shrouded in fog. "Can we eat now?" Leo shouted, breaking the silence, his tiny hands already reaching for the mountain of pancakes, oblivious to the storm brewing in his mother's heart. "Sure thing, buddy," she smiled, though internally, she grappled with the weight of what lay ahead. The breakfast table was a colorful mess of pancakes and syrup, a jovial scene that belied her inner turmoil. As they laughed and played, Maria snuck glances at Nathan, who seemed genuinely invested in her dream. Could this be the partnership that propelled her to daring heights? Or was she risking too much, her well-being anchored to a man she barely knew? Each forkful of pancake tasted sweet, but each bite also held a pinch of fear. As she watched her children giggling at their imaginative rescue mission, her heart fluttered between hope and caution. And then it hit her, would the truth of her partnership with Nathan hold up under scrutiny? Many in their circle would have opinions, and what if those opinions threatened everything she built? The moment that thought crossed her mind, something shifted. The stakes were climbing higher, and now, so was her resolve. What was she truly willing to fight for? What dreams had she allowed to gather dust in the corners of her heart? As laughter swirled around her, Maria felt a spark ignite. The real journey was just beginning, and everything was about to change. When she looked up, Nathan caught her eye again, his smile somehow impetuous, yet reassuring. Deep down, she sensed he held the key to everything. With her heart racing and the weight of the unknown before her, Maria knew the pivotal question lingered in the air between them. What would happen when they took that leap together? And could they withstand whatever truth lay bare? The kitchen buzzed with laughter, a bubble encasing Maria and her children in a moment that felt impossibly fragile yet joyous. As the sweet scent of syrup filled the air, she felt her heart battle between the warmth of the present and the chill of the uncertain future. "Let us save the dinosaurs," Leo declared, his tiny hands gripping a fork as he launched a piece of pancake into the air as if it were a daring rescue mission. "Watch out, Sophia. The dinosaurs are coming," he shouted, his chair wobbling with the force of his enthusiasm. Sophia squealed, her eyes wide with mirth, and Maria couldn't help but chuckle at their antics. Beyond the happiness, thoughts of bills, potential failures, and the daunting responsibility of entrepreneurship creeped in again. She stared at her children, their faces lit with such pure joy it flooded her with warmth. "Hey, what do you think we could do next?" Nathan's voice broke her reverie, drawing her gaze to his encouraging demeanor. His expertise seemed promising, but her confidence faltered at the edges. Every small success in the kitchen felt like a victory under his watchful gaze. But were they truly ready to lead this venture hand in hand? "Maybe," she started, enthusiasm bubbling within her but tinged with hesitation. "Maybe we could have a grand opening. Like a parade?" Leo chimed in, his imagination running wildly, his mind dancing in the realm of possibilities. "Exactly. With balloons. And games," Sophia added, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Balloons sound great, but we'll also need to plan," Nathan interjected, his brows furrowing slightly. "We can create an itinerary of events. Get flyers out. Build a buzz before we even open the doors." A lump formed in Maria's throat at the thought of needing to strategize every detail. Weeks of planning, meetings, expectations, the very things that sent adrenaline coursing through her veins. Would her lofty dreams feel suffocating once they were drafted into a plan? Can we really handle it?" she said, her voice softer, clouded with uncertainty. "I believe we can," Nathan replied, a resolute smile empowering his words. "We can do this together. Together time, right?" Leo interrupted, beaming as he held up yet another piece of pancake, somehow embodying carefree abandon. "Right," Maria affirmed, nodding slightly. His excitement was contagious, casting a brief glow over her doubts. The name echoed, pulling her back to that fleeting moment of inspiration she had felt just a short while ago. But could believing in that dream mean embracing the risks that came with it? Every laugh shared felt like another step, yet the shadows of what it meant to take this leap loomed intermittently. Every time she pushed forward, they lingered like whispers at the back of her mind, unsettling questions pressing against her resolve. As the children continued their playful chaos, Maria turned her focus back to her plate. She needed to delve deeper, not only for her children, but for the future she desperately wanted to carve out. A future she wanted to be as colorful and lively as the pancake tower they shared. What if she began slowly, testing the waters of her thoughts? What if the townsfolk don't take us seriously, or think this is just a joke? "Maria," Nathan replied gently, lowering his voice to a soothing tone amidst the frenzy. "The right people will see your passion. They'll recognize it's something special." She wanted to believe in his words, wanted to channel that spark of hope igniting deep down. "But what if we don't try?" He cut in, a soft intensity in his gaze wrapping around her insecurities. "You're doing this for them, for all of us. Together, we could build something beautiful." His confidence pushed through her doubts like light through dark clouds, but the fear still hung heavy. Could they confront those who would doubt them together? Each spoonful brought more questions than answers, and as the laughter continued to overflow around them, she felt a disconnect twining tightly between courage and fear. Could she brave it all the way? With hearts racing, All eyes turned to her, as if waiting for the next command in their playful adventure. The air tightened with anticipation, each tiny heartbeat resonating with the growing possibility between them. What if Maria hesitated, the doubt flowing through her mind like a tide? But this time she pressed on. What if we dare to dream bigger? And just like that, Maria stood on the edge of a precipice, teetering between the leap of faith and the comfortable familiarity of her present. What awaited them on the other side? Would it be failure or a wondrous adventure? She met Nathan's gaze, feeling a spark of hope. With everything at stake, could they bind their dreams together, or would the reality of her anxieties prove too much to bear? The moment hung in the air, thick with possibility and weighty with unspoken fears. Maria swallowed hard, trying to imagine a bigger dream, one where her little kitchen transformed into a bustling hub of joy, laughter, and delicious smells that wrapped around the community like a warm blanket. The idea danced in her mind, hardly more than a whisper, but she could feel it growing, like a seed fighting its way through the dirt toward the sun. Bigger dreams, huh? Nathan said, nodding slowly, as if he sensed that flicker igniting inside her. What if we start by inviting the whole town? Like a block party? Everyone can come and celebrate together. Make it one big happy family day. Leo shouted, his face lighting up again as he envisioned the impossible. A marketplace with music, food, and games. Sophia added, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Like the festivals we see in the park. With each suggestion, Maria's heart beat faster, fueled by the warmth of their dreams. But then the shadows crept in again. What if it didn't work? What if no one showed up? Her resolve faltered at the corners, leaving her feeling raw and exposed, like she was standing naked in front of a crowd, vulnerable and fearful. I love that idea, she managed, pushing her doubts deeper into the recesses of her mind. But what if we don't have enough funds? What if we run out of food? Nathan leaned closer, his gaze steady and calming. That's where teamwork comes in. We can spread the word. Ask local businesses to contribute. We can pitch in, too. Every bit helps. As comforted as she felt by his words, Maria had seen the weight of stress cling to small businesses in her town. Could they really capture the community's interest? Just then, the doorbell rang, interrupting the poignant feeling of possibility that twisted around her thoughts. I'll get it, Leo shouted, bouncing out of his chair like a supercharged spring. In moments, he flung the door open, revealing Mr. Jackson, their friendly neighbor and owner of the bakery down the street. Hey there, kids. Hope I'm not interrupting too much. I brought over some treats for you. He held up a box, the warm smell of freshly baked pastries wafting, and a wave of relief washed over Maria. Mr. Jackson's generosity reminded her of the strength within their community. As Leo and Sophia clamored for pastries, Maria's heart felt lighter, filled with the realization that she wasn't alone in this dream. Can you help us, Mr. Jackson? She asked, gathering her courage. We're thinking of hosting this big community celebration. We want to bring everyone together, but we could use a little support. His smile broadened as he clapped his hands together. Absolutely. I'd love to be part of that. Let us make those delicious pastries for your event. I can also help you spread the word. I knew you would understand, Nathan said, his eyes sparkling with delight as the weight of possibilities shifted dramatically in the room. Suddenly, the conversation shifted, enveloping them all in a bright future, filled with hopes and dreams. They brainstormed ideas, laughter bouncing off the kitchen walls, each idea igniting more enthusiasm. What if they included a talent show? Or a bake-off? Maria felt her earlier fears begin to soothe by the kindness swirling around her. With every idea that took flight, every heartfelt connection made, the voices of her children and Mr. Jackson mingling, she felt warmth bloom in her chest. They could do this. They really could. Yet, amidst the laughter and planning, a tiny voice in her head still whispered doubts that just wouldn't quiet down. What if they put their hearts into this, and it flopped? What if it turned into something more than she could handle? Guys, she finally interjected, her voice quiet amidst the festivities. What if we get overwhelmed? Silence fell briefly, and they turned to her, wide eyes waiting for her next move. In that moment, Maria realized that maybe the beauty was not just in chasing perfection, but in the connections they built along the way. Each cheer, every supportive gesture, could replace her worries and feed her spirit, making the path just a little bit easier. Let us take it one step at a time, Maria said, determination coloring her voice. We can face what's ahead together. As they resumed discussing the festival, a warm resolve washed over Maria. She might have doubted themselves before, but not anymore. The excitement was palpable, like a charge in the air. Could this be the turning point? Could they really pull off the dream that felt just out of reach? With the energy swirling around them, she began to believe it was possible. As she caught Nathan's gaze, a shared understanding ignited between them, a spark of hope and possibility. If they dared to dream bigger, what would that adventure look like? The answer loomed tantalizingly in the air, waiting for them to seize it. What awaited them at that festival? Connection, hope, or perhaps another twist of fate entirely? Ideas flew around the kitchen like fireflies on a summer night, each brighter than the last. Maria felt the energy humming through her as laughter and excitement filled the air. Leo and Sophia were practically bouncing off the walls, listing every possible game and activity they could think of for the festival. Mr. Jackson's warm smile as he chewed through his pastries added to the atmosphere, the sweetness lingering in the air and wrapping around them all. What if we had a pie-eating contest? Leo exclaimed, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. And just think of all the flavors we could include. Pumpkin, apple, cherry. Sophia chimed in, clapping her hands. The more the merrier. As Maria listened, her heart beat faster. These little moments, filled with spontaneous joy and connection, surely were the building blocks of something incredible. It was this warmth, this shared hope, that could bind the town closer together. But shadows still lingered at the edges of her mind. Was she ready for such a monumental task? Would the town show up? What if it became too overwhelming for her 3 children to handle? Mr. Jackson broke into her thoughts with the sound of laughter. Kids, you've got some great ideas here. But let us not forget about all the adults in town who love to pitch in. How about we create flyers together to spread the word? Nodding, Maria felt a wave of relief wash over her. A collaborative effort. She could see it now, a community coming together, not just for them, but for each other. Let us do it. Nathan's voice rang through the kitchen, his determination solidifying. We'll need a meeting point, a date. How about 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks? Maria echoed, her chest tightening at the thought. It felt quick, almost too quick for everything they still had to organize. But there was a spark, a mounting excitement that demanded they leap into action. Yes, 2 weeks is perfect, Leo shouted. Maria glanced at her children's eager faces. Their belief fueled her, pushed her past the nagging worries. With them behind her, she felt the doubts start to evaporate. Okay, let us do this, she declared, a newfound fervor firing her up. As they began jotting down ideas on paper, Maria suddenly pictured the faces of their neighbors, the laughter she hoped to hear, and the love she wanted to envelop the entire town. We can have music, too. Local musicians will want to perform, she added, opening the floodgates for even more possibilities. They quickly dove into a discussion, envisioning a stage, lights, and the community working together to make that dream a reality. Ideas spilled over one another, creating a fusion that was chaotic yet beautiful. But then, as laughter faded momentarily, Maria's heart raced at the thought that pierced through her joy. What if they couldn't pull this off? What if this dream shattered into pieces before their eyes? Maria? Nathan's gentle voice broke through her worries. Are you okay? Her stomach tightened. I'm just asking if we can really manage all of this. What if we don't get enough volunteers? What if we fail? Everyone fell silent, their eyes searching hers, grounding her in the moment. There was that fear again, but it was countered by their unwavering support, their resilience, and the collective hope they shared. Look, Maria, Mr. Jackson finally said, his voice steady and calming. You won't be alone in this. We're all with you. Communities rise when they come together. His words sparked a flicker of hope that raced through the room. That reassurance wrapped around Maria like a warm embrace. We just need to let people know this is a moment for everyone, she whispered, a smile blooming on her face. The kitchen erupted into a discussion once more as the children got back to brainstorming activities. And this time, with each idea came a renewed understanding of what true community meant. But still, somewhere in the back of her mind, seed of doubt persisted. What if she couldn't keep it together? As a single mom, could she handle the pressure of orchestrating such a big event? She stole a glance at Nathan, who caught her eye and offered a reassuring smile. He was right there, alongside her, ready to face whatever came next together. And there it was again, the invitation to step into the unknown, to embrace it all, the joy, the challenges, the connections. Could they really create something that would change their town forever? The taste of possibility lingered on her tongue, sweetened with hope. But just as quickly, her heart surged with an unspoken question that hung in the air. What if everything fell apart the moment it all began? As she caught Nathan's gaze again, the weight of everything ahead pressed against her chest. But instead of fear, there was a burgeoning sense of excitement. With a plan forming, could they truly change the fabric of their little world together? The answer shimmered just out of reach, daring her to chase it. The days blurred together in a whirlwind of planning and preparation. Maria barely noticed the setting sun as it cast warm hues across the kitchen, where sketches and flyers filled the table. Her children were buzzing with creativity, pulling out markers and crayons, doodling big letters for the festival name. "Look at this," Leo shouted, holding up a poster with a colorful pie, streaming ribbons, and fireworks. His enthusiasm was infectious. "Imagine this all around town. People will flock in." Sophia chimed in, her small voice barely containing her excitement. "And the LLC, it's not just about fun. It's about community." Maria marveled at their innocence and energy. She had been carrying the burden of her doubts, but watching her kids filled her with fresh determination. Maybe she could trust that spark of hope. After all, this was their moment, too. "Okay, let us get these flyers printed tomorrow," she said, nodding. "We'll have to vintage some up for the local shops and community centers." Just as they began to divide tasks, the doorbell rang, shattering their focused chatter. Maria glanced at her children, their eagerness palpable. Was it a neighbor? A friend? She opened the door to reveal Ms. Andrews, the town's elderly librarian. "Hello, dear." Ms. Andrews beamed, her eyes glimmering. "I heard about your festival plans. I would love to help." Relief flooded over Maria. "Really? Thank you. We could use all the help we can get." "Oh, darling, you're doing a wonderful thing. A festival can bring the community together like nothing else," Ms. Andrews said, stepping inside. "I can help with story time for the children's area." "Oh, how about a storytelling session in the park?" The kids stared wide-eyed, their imaginations lighting up. Sophia clapped her hands. "Yes, we can have fairy tales and adventures. Can I help?" "Of course, sweet pea." Ms. Andrews chuckled, her laughter a warm melody. "Let us make it enchanting." And just like that, their circle of support widened. With Ms. Andrews on board, Maria felt renewed motivation. They spent the next hour brainstorming ideas, and laughter spilled out into the evening air, wrapping the house in a cloak of shared dreams and purpose. But as the excitement buzzed in the room, a dark cloud loomed in the depths of Maria's mind. As the festival came closer, would the challenges start to mount as well? Time raced forward, and soon the day arrived to hang the flyers. The children were like little dandelions caught in a breeze. They darted from shop to shop, passing out the brilliantly illustrated flyers. Maria watched them go with pride swelling in her chest. This was not just her fight, it was theirs too. But reality hit hard when they returned home. Hours after they'd finished hanging the last flyer, Maria looked at her watch. It was almost midnight, and anxiety wrapped itself around her like a serpent. "Mom," Nathan said, sensing her distraction, "you okay?" "I'm just thinking, what if people don't show?" Maria admitted, her voice wavering. Nathan stepped closer, his eyes steady. "You won't know until you try. Remember, it's about giving everyone a chance to come together." His words resonated, but pieces of doubt still whispered in her ear. Would all her hopes crash down? The next day, as the sun peeked over the town, a soft knock at the door shattered her thoughts. Maria opened it to find a few familiar faces, Ms. Andrews and the neighborhood kids, each wearing matching smiles and holding boxes filled with muffins and baked goods. "I thought we could meet to finalize our plans," Ms. Andrews said, offering a soft laugh. "And now we've brought snacks to fuel our brainstorming." Maria felt the warmth of that community spirit, but deep down, the question loomed like a thunderhead. Could they really make this work? As they sat around the table, notebooks spread wide, laughter erupted like a summer storm. It was a moment filled with promise. But little did she know, something unexpected was about to surface, a revelation that would stir the very foundation of her plans. Could one surprise change everything? The day of the festival dawned bright and clear, the sun spilling golden light across the bustling streets of Chicago. Maria stood on the corner of her block, surrounded by colorful banners and stands, heart pounding with anticipation. She gazed at the makeshift stage, where local bands were setting up, and the park, transformed into a vibrant playground filled with laughter and excitement. Her children, Leo and Sophia, were darting between booths, their faces lighting up with joy as they explored the array of activities. Maria felt a swell of pride, imagining how far they had all come together. This was not just her dream anymore. It belonged to the whole community. Days of hard work culminated in this moment, with neighbors and friends pitching in to turn their shared vision into reality. But just beneath her bubbling enthusiasm lay that familiar whisper of doubt. Would anyone show up? The crowd began to swell, families arriving, children laughing, music spilling from the stage. Maria's heart raced, the energy of the scene electrifying her spirit. Nathan appeared beside her, dressed in casual clothes, a warm smile spreading across his face. "Look at this," he exclaimed, eyes sparkling. "You did this." Maria shook her head, filling her eyes. "We did this. It's all of us." A wave of realization washed over her. They had fought through their fears together. They had built something tangible from ideas and imagination, a space where dreams could flourish. Yet, that fear still gnawed at her, shadowing the joy of the moment. As she stood back, taking it all in, the joyous smiles, the vibrant sounds, she caught sight of Ms. Andrews entertaining a group of children. The satisfaction on the elderly librarian's face left Maria breathless. What could be more fulfilling than this sense of community? "Ready?" Nathan asked, his voice pulling her back from her thoughts. She nodded, steeling herself. "Let us do this." Together, they took the stage, and the crowd quieted, eyes eager with anticipation. Maria squeezed Nathan's hand. "I couldn't have done this without your belief in me," she whispered. He nodded empathetically, his gaze filled with understanding. "You are the heart of this, Maria. They see it." With a deep breath, Maria stepped forward, letting her voice carry over the crowd. "Welcome, everyone. Today is about unity, about building a community where our dreams can thrive together." The applause that followed erupted like firecrackers, ringing in her ears and igniting her spirit. As the music began and the festivities unfolded, Maria felt her worries drift away like leaves on a crisp autumn breeze. Families roamed from booth to booth, getting involved, trying new things, laughing together. This was the magic she had hoped for. As the afternoon wore on, she caught sight of Nathan interacting with a group of local vendors, a sense of camaraderie blossoming amidst shared laughter and ideas. In that moment, she realized how far their relationship had come. It was no longer just a partnership for business. He believed in her dreams, and, perhaps, she was beginning to believe in his. As the sun began to set, a warm glow enveloped the festival. Maria stood alongside Nathan, children dancing around them, the ambience filled with warmth like an oversized family gathering, laughter spilling over like wine at dinner. "See that?" Nathan gestured toward her children, playing with their friends. "You've created something beautiful." Tears pricked the corners of Maria's eyes. "And I couldn't have done it without you," she admitted, her heart swelling. In that magic-filled moment, she realized the festival was just the beginning. They had both ventured into the unknown, and together, they were uncovering the beauty of what lay ahead. Then, her heart skipped as Leo and Sophia approached, holding a handmade sign saying "the best together time." Maria knelt down, gathering them close, her heart full. "You two are my greatest gifts. Can we do this again, Mama?" Sophia beamed up at her. "Absolutely," Maria promised, and she knew that statement embodied more than just the festival. They would continue to dream, to create, to expand their boundaries. As twilight cast a warm glow across the park, Maria felt a profound peace settle over her. The whispers of fear faded into distant echoes, overshadowed by the laughter and joy that enveloped them all. Today was a victory not just for her, but for everyone who dared to believe in community, in family, and in dreams. As the festival came to a close, Maria stood alongside Nathan, holding hands tightly, ready to face whatever the future had in store. With their hearts intertwined and dreams alive, they stepped forward, ready to embrace this extraordinary journey together. And finally, to you, dear viewer, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support for stories like these. Don't wait, not even one more second to share. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let others join in on the journey. And comment your feelings about this beautiful ending and what it means for you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support makes all the difference.